Good evening, everyone. Thanks for making it onto your mat this morning. So, as with winter and the coldness, a yoga practice can be very good for stoking your inner fire and generating a warmth. So, a lot of the flow of today's class, some of it, there's been bits of it in previous classes, but a lot of it is to actually generate some heat within the body. So when we start with muscle co-activation, just really focus on that activation too and keep it throughout the whole class. We are going to flow a little bit quicker than normal, hopefully. And there are some things that might be slightly different, slightly from normal. Um, if it, please listen to your body. If at any time there's something that you can't do or it's just too much, just step out of it and join us back wherever we are as we move through it. I mean, I often say that yoga is like golf. You don't just get on a golf course and you're this perfect golfer. It takes time, it takes commitment of getting on the mat. So thank yourself for actually arriving and getting on the mat. And now that I've waffled, maybe let's just settle down into our bodies. Dropping your head, making sure you've got a comfortable seated position. And just start to scan your body. Moving from the base, the ankles, knees, hips, lower spine, middle spine, upper spine. The shoulders, elbows, wrists, and make the way to your neck, front of your throat, back of your throat. Try and feel it from the inside. Then your head. Check in with your senses. The breath, the light on your eyelids if your eyes are closed. What you're hearing in your room and out of the room that you're in. And then check in for tension in the forehead. Are you really squeezing the eyes or the eyes just relaxed and closed? And then slowly bring your hands to heart center. And I'm going to begin the class with the universal sound of Om, 3 Oms. You don't have to chant with. And if you're not chanting, then just focus on the inhale and focus on the exhale with the Om. So inhale to prepare. Om. 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 Lower in your head. Namaste. Enjoy your practice. Please be safe. Coming over onto your hands and knees. And start to take some cats and cows in your time, in your breath. But try and articulate and feel through each vertebra. You can already start to activate right now in your class with pushing the shins and the tops of the toes down into the ground. As you cow, you can draw your heels of your hands towards your knees. And as you cat, you can push your hands away from your knees. Be careful not to overdo it. It is early and we are warming up, so please listen to your body. You can change the hand position. We're just spending about 10 breaths here, just slowly starting to warm up into our practice. You can be gripping with the fingertips, however which way you turn them. Whatever you're doing in these breaths that you're taking to start getting that movement in your body. Make sure if you do one side, you do the other. And then find some stillness, flat tabletop, and then tuck your toes, raise the knees and hover. Push through the back of the heart center, tuck the chin, and find your downward dog. It is early, so you pedal into the legs, but pedal with awareness and consciousness. And as you straighten one leg, you can also open the hip up if you want more of a stretch, or you can just keep it closed. Totally up to you. And then when you have moved enough, find some stillness in your downward dog. Then look up. Walk forward slowly to the front of your mat, taking your time to get there. There's no rush. And forward fold, release the head, hang the head. And slowly roll up, vertebra by vertebra, taking your time. You can think of drawing your hips forward to the front of the mat so that the lower hips don't really get involved, and that the roll up happens mainly in the spine. Head and shoulders come up last, into the ears, and shrug the arms down. Very briefly, just taking the conscious choice, back of the palms together, rising up, stretch high, stretch that spine long, fingers can move, shoulders can move. If it's too much on the toes, then lower the heels down, but everybody slowly lower down, hands in front of heart. Conscious choice of activation. Send your weight to the balls of your feet. Micro bend your knees. Feel with the weight on the balls, the calves switch on. Heels squeeze in, inner thighs activate. Draw the sitting bones down and forward to the front of your mat to lengthen the lower spine. Kneecaps draw up. Bend your knees and try and straighten at the same time and feel your hamstrings switch on. Your shoulder tips are forward for your pecs to activate. Your armpits push down for your lats to activate. Bulge your bicep and try and straighten your elbow at the same time for your tricep to activate. Your fingers push together but try and pull away simultaneously for inner and outer forearm, inner and outer hands. Check in with what level you're going to practice. And then we move. Slightly different to normal. We just roll down. Hands come to the side. And then shift your weight up onto your toes. Keep the rounding in the spine. And now start to rise the shoulders up. Just doing it slightly different today. Inhale, rise it all the way up, back of the palms together. Spine comes long. Slowly lower the heels and just roll down, all the way down. Large intestine meridian with the hands. Shift the weight onto the toes, rounding the spine. Now raise the shoulders away from the knees slightly. Raise the shoulders higher. And slowly take them higher and higher till the back of the palms come together and traction the spine long. Slowly plant the heels, cactus the arms. Watch for the tailbone tucking out, draw the sitting bones towards the front of your mat, and then draw the palms down. Draw the fingers towards one another and draw them apart. Lift the heart away from the belly and dive the right hand over the left hand. Palms are interlaced and trying to pull away from one another. Weight is still in the balls of the feet. You could be gripping with your toes if you want to. Check in, calves, inner thighs, hamstrings, are they on? Look up, squeeze, compress, rotate out, lift the heart away from the belly. Roll the hands, wrists, elbows, shoulders, come back. Interlace, draw the collarbones long. Then slowly, with your heels flat, come down. Watch your shoulders will come forward. Draw your shoulders up, and where you're at the place where the shoulders start dipping, stay there. Then shift the weight onto the toes. Raise the arms higher. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, slowly rise up, release the hands, back of the palms together, traction the spine. Fingers can move, head can move, tongue can move. Slowly lower the heels, cactus the arms. Sitting bones drawing forward, lift the belly from the pubic bone, lift the heart from the belly. Then the hands come forward. The elbows stay in line with the shoulders. The elbows still stay in line with the shoulders when the fingers come towards the body. Draw it out, rise it up. Left hand dives over right. Drop your head between your arms. Armpits are pulling down, lats are on. Check in, scan the whole body. Inhale, look up. Squeeze it in. Arms go out. Belly button, arch, long spine. Sitting bones are still tucking. Hands, forearms, elbows, shoulders. Feel the articulation. Take them back, grip with the other pinky on top, grip with the pinkies too, draw the collarbones back. Heels stay down. Now go down as low as you can before the shoulders start dipping forward. When you're at that point, slowly shift the weight onto your toes, rise up. It's a back bend, this one, the arms still warming the spine. Slowly rising up, release it, back of the palms together, traction the spine. Slowly lower the heels, fingers interlace. Turn the palms up to the ceiling. Push through the heart center and the hands come forward to the front of your mat. Then rise the hands up and twist over, side bending to your right side. I'm mirroring you, and if possible, you're looking up towards those hands. Watch that left hip. It's going to want to come forward. Be conscious with it. Slowly rise up. Take it over to the left side. The shoulders might be screaming at this stage if you're activating and pushing. That's okay. Eyes up. Then slowly twist over to the right. Again, that hip's going to want to come. Check in. Make your choice. Are you allowing it or not? Release it back to center. And then over to the left side. Back to center. Release those arms. Release the head, the neck, and roll down. Forward fold. Inhale, hands to calves. Engage the biceps. Press the palms into the calves. Press the calves into the palms. Release the neck. Maybe your journey is you find 1 millimeter more length. Check in with the lower spine. Feel what's happening in your body. Look up. Release the hands next to the feet. Allow the fingertips to push forward to the front of the mat and push you a little bit deeper. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, place your hands. Weight shifts to the right foot or yogi's choice. Hands can float to the side while you raise the left heel to the buttocks and raise the knee Totally up to you. Take the knee as high as the knee can go, flat back. Keep bending in the right leg. Slowly, with control, extend the back foot out. Working against gravity here, and slowly keep bending into the front leg and lower down and plant the hands. Walk the right foot out to the side and forward. Bend the elbows in front of the leg, and first draw the left hip up to the ceiling, square it, and then drop the heavy body weights, the hips, the heart, and the head, but keep looking forward with a long spine. Inhale, press into your hands, walk your hands in, come onto the fingertips. Now back bend the spine. Send energy through the back heel. If you want more, the front foot is pushing down and pulling back, the back foot pushing down and pulling forward. Then slowly release that. The left hand goes to the left corner and walk the right foot over, turning onto the side of the left leg. The right foot pushes down and walks back to a comfortable point for you, and the right hand stretches towards the left ankle, left foot. Think of side bending the spine. Then keep going with it. Slowly allow the knees so both your sitting bones are on the ground. Your left hand comes round, holds the knee, twisting over to the right side. Right hand goes behind you, and take a bigger twist. Fingers are pushing towards the direction that your left shoulder is moving, allowing you to twist a little bit more. Then slowly release, but don't just take it slow. Feel what's happening in the body as you released. Left hand goes back, shift over onto the left side of your leg. Prepare for your half Vashisthasana. Push up into the arm, into the foot, raise the hips high. Hands can be towards the ceiling or overhead and look up. Then slowly thread it. Stretch the right side long. My back's going to turn to you now. And then thread the arm through as you turn on your feet. Play with that distance that you need of your feet for Skandasana. Use your hands if you need. Don't if you don't. To the front of your mat. Allow your heel to pull. The calf is active, the hamstring's active. Sliding you along in the same line. Moving with consciousness and control. Last one to the back. And then as you come to the front, step the back foot in and rise the shoulders above the hips. Straighten the front leg. Right arm goes up, bend the elbow. Left hand comes to help a little bit, but watch for this closing of the shoulder. Keep the shoulder out and make sure you're drawing the elbow. Left arm goes back. Feel the articulation in the shoulder. Gomukhasana hands, and make fists with your hands. Don't interlace, just make fists. And slowly come forward for Parsvottanasana, bending over the front leg. Bend the knee if you need to. Stay long on the spine at first, and then you can round in. Press into both feet, rise up, release the arms back. Shift the weight onto the front foot, moving, making your way to Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, the back foot floats up. You're either holding your Warrior 3 or you're going into standing splits. Both hands to calf, one hand to calf, left hand to floor. If you're in your Warrior 3, you're holding that. Yogi's choice. Extend length through the back of the spine. Slowly rising up, those from standing splits. Rise up. Then lower the back foot down to the back. Hands plant. Push into the hands, push through the heart. Right foot steps back. Use your knees if you need to. Shoulders go over the tips of the fingers. Elbows bend. Pause. Shoulders in line with elbows. Untuck the toes. Lower all the way down. Hands go back. Thumbs interlace. 10 toes push down. Shoulder rise. Head rises. Neck is long. Watch for compressing the neck. 10 toes pushing down, knees are raised. You're feeling it in the lower spine. Tuck the pubic bone. Release. Hands come under shoulders. Tuck the toes. Kneeling plank or full plank. Round into the heart. Push through the heart center. Chin leads away, downward dog. Fingers are gripping, elbows drawing towards one another. Shoulders rolling out. Energy down the back of the lower spine, down the sitting bones, going down towards the heels. Look forward. It's early in the day, but walk, step or hop. Take your time, we'll all meet there at the front of your mat, and then forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, long spine, forward fold. Hands in front of the feet. Shift your weight to your left foot, right heel to buttocks. Squeeze it, raise the knee high. Hands or no hands, yogi's choice. Watch for the left hip dropping out. Keep it pointing back to the right corner of the mat. Slowly extend the foot. Extend the spine long. Working against gravity. And slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Left foot walks forward and to the side of your mat. Hands go wide. First, draw that right hip up to the ceiling. Draw the spine long. Then drop the hips. Then the heart. Then the head. Looking forward. Push into the hands. Draw the hands back. And try and find a back bend through the heart area of your spine. Energy still shifting through the back heel. Then slowly release that. Right hand goes to right corner. Start to walk that left foot out, turning over to the right side. Half Vashisthasana. Left hand to right foot. Right elbow's micro bent. The bicep, tricep working. Fingers are gripping. And then release that. Keep rolling over to both sitting bones. Right hand, right elbow comes to right knee. Left hand comes behind you, helping you twist a little bit more. Release that, but feel the release. Let the arms go, then slowly allow the spine. Don't just take it everything quickly, then keep flowing onto the side. Half Vashisthasana, push into the foot, hips go high. Right elbow's micro bend, gripping with the fingers, looking up overhead at that hand, if your neck's okay. Then slowly feel that length left side and start to turn and barrel the rib cage through, the feet move. Modify your legs if you need to. Skandasana to the back. Stay as high as you need to or as low as you need to. Move. Consciousness, awareness with your breath, no huffing and puffing. Watch for the knee wanting to drop and keep the knee drawing back. Last one to the back. And as you come to the front, turn the feet, step it in if you need to, back foot at 45 degrees. Shoulders above hips, left arm high. Bend the elbow. Right hand can go and help draw that elbow A little bit more over. Right arm goes back. Articulate the shoulder movement. Make fists. And slowly come forward. Parsvottanasana. Intense side stretch pose. Check in the hips. Bend the front knee if you need to. And slowly come up. Release the arms. Extend them back. Virabhadrasana 3. Shift the weight to the front leg and the back leg just rises gently. You're either holding here or you start to go for standing splits. Both hands either will come to the calf, or your right hand will come to the floor, left hand to calf, and look back at the back foot if you're holding standing splits. Otherwise, you're holding your warrior 3. Standing splits will start to rise. Everyone will start to drop back, down. Placing the hands, push through the heart center, step back, plank. Untuck the toes for an arrow plank. Push through the heart center. And if you do need your knees, then use your knees. Otherwise, take the shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Much harder, slowly, all the way down. Your elbows come forward to the front of the mat. The elbows push down and pull towards your hips. Make fists and bend the wrists. 10 toes push down, knees are raised. Pubic bone pushing down. Draw the heart towards the hands. Breathe into the side ribs. Slowly release. Hands come under shoulders. Tuck the toes. Push up to plank. Chin leads the way, hips go high, downward dog. Gripping with the fingers. Bring your feet to the middle of your mat. Center looking back, big toes touching. Then right leg rises, hips stay closed. Open the right hip. Draw the foot higher. Now slowly bend the knee. Take your time bending that knee. Now feel the weight of the foot starting to really open that hip. Now start to go over for your wild thing. Slowly, with control, foot lands. Find your wild. Then length through the spine, the heart up to the seat. Slowly, the eyes start the journey back. Look down at the floor, then start to take it through the rib cage, rolling it. The hip gets involved. The foot rises off the floor. The right hand plants. The right leg goes high. And slowly bring it down to meet the left. Left foot goes high. Square the hips. Open the hips. Raise the foot high. Slowly with control, bend the knee. Take the time bending it. Feel the weight, feel what happens in the thigh. Feel what happens in the hip. And now slowly allow it to go open. Right leg is long today, left leg is bent. Right elbow is bent, fingers are gripping. Eyes lead the way. Ribs, then the hips. Left leg goes high. Bring it down to the floor, downward dog. Hold your downward dog. Breathe. Then right leg goes high. Look forward, bend the knee in. Draw it in. Start to shift the weight. Shoulders over hands. And slowly step it forward. Walk it forward as much as you need to. And close the back foot. Come up, warrior one. Change your back foot position to crescent lunge. And then step forward, shift the weight to the front of your mat. Sit down, chair, Utkatasana. Tuck your tailbone, untuck your tailbone. Your right leg steps behind your left. Drop low. Squeeze these thighs and then draw the hands to prayer and now twist. Belly button, lower ribs, chest. That right elbow hopefully makes connection with the left leg. If you want and you're going further, the hand reaches the floor and the left hand goes up. Focus on lengthening your spine here. In the right hand leads the way. Square the hips. And the right hand goes back, the left hand goes forward for dancer. The right hand finds the ankle. Now go slowly. Start to hinge at the hips, but keep drawing the knee high in the back leg. Make it about the knee going high, the back bend will follow. Keep holding the ankle, come out of it, hold the ankle. Feel what happens in this right hip area. Swap the hands to the ankle, feeling the hip. Draw the foot down to above the knee. Watch for hips tilting out to make shapes. So draw your hips back square. You might raise the knee to do that. That's okay. Hands come to heart. Slowly fold forward. Then take your right arm where the forearm reaches the arch of your foot. You're trying to draw it and keep drawing it and keep drawing it all the way, twisting to the side. Those who have grasshopper in their practice, you'll just keep going. Some of you will just raise the left arm to the ceiling and hold it here. Those who are going to grasshopper will plant both hands, turn sideways, and just stand hard into that left foot and float into your grasshopper. Otherwise, you're just holding, breathing at whatever level you are at, and slowly coming out of it. Raise the knee high and put it down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, right leg steps back, 45 degrees, warrior one. Hold your warrior one. Check in with your breath. Come to a crescent lunge. Then step forward. Feet together, sit low for your chair, Utkatasana. Arms go up. Draw length into the side body. Draw the shoulders up. Then your left leg steps behind. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Hands to heart. Belly button. Lower ribs. Chest. Now drop down. Left arm goes down, right arm goes up, otherwise you remain in prayer. The left hip bone, can you draw it out more to the side of the room that you're in? Then slowly the left hand leads the way. Stand into both feet. Right arm comes forward, the left hand goes back. Raise the knee high, then fetch that ankle. Dancer, keep focusing on the knee. Standing leg is micro bent. Start to slowly, with each breath, hinge forward at the hips. Slowly releasing. Swap the hands. Feel what's happening in the hip. Draw the foot above the knee. The right, the left forearm to the sole of the foot, and start to, as you bend, revolve it. One side may be different to the other. If you have grasshopper, you'll obviously keep going, planting both hands, shifting the weight, and slowly moving into grasshopper. Otherwise, you're staying in the preparatory pose, breathing. Eventually, you're wanting to get your armpit into your foot. Slowly releasing it, coming up, raise it high, and put it down. Take a squat. For those who didn't do an arm balance, you can, if you did an arm balance, you can release the wrists. If you did do an arm balance, if you didn't, you can do a crow, Bakasana. Grip with the fingers, shift the weight, and maybe you stay just weight on the back of the arms. Maybe one foot rises, maybe another. Try and hold it for 3 to 5 breaths. Have a go. Builds good wrist strength. Squeeze the knees onto the elbows in that pose. And when you're ready, come down, find a squat. You can dump into your squat like I am now, or you can work a little bit more. That's your choice, just by raising up. You know where you're working, where you're not. Your feet might need to be wider, that might be too much. Work here then. Arms come forward, back of the palms together, right over left. Just giving the wrist some love. Your arms don't have to straighten. Swap it over. Release it. Shake sideways, up and down, all around. Then forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Shift your weight to your right foot, left foot steps back. Plant it at 45 degrees. Come up for warrior one. Watch for the knee dropping in, outer blade, the left foot pulling down. And if you've got any tension, tightness here on your lower back, then tuck the tailbone like crazy to release that. So check in on the lower spine. You can look up if you choose. I'm facing you, so I'm not going to be mirrored, just in case you guys need a visual. Then you're going to change the back foot to a crescent lunge, and you're going to shift your weight and step forward to a floating tree. Or if you need to place the foot, you'll place the foot. If you need your hands, use your hands. But if you can float it, float it. Then close the hip. Feel that closing. Draw it across. Garudasana, eagle. And it doesn't matter if the ankle binds, but if it can, do so. But watch. See my hips have turned out. You've got to keep drawing them back. Squaring them. It's all a compromise in our bodies. The right arm goes under, the left arm is on top. Palms interlace. Now draw the elbows high. Bring the awareness to the back of your body. Draw the shoulder blades apart from one another. Can you drop a little bit lower? Keep a long spine here. Now listen carefully. We're going to unsupported half moon, so release the hands. Release the leg. Right hand comes to shoulder. Left leg goes back. Extend it. Right hand comes to shin. Hold the shin. Extend length in that top side of the body. Then slowly lower it down for triangle. Hand stays on the shin. Left hand goes up. Breathe. Pressing down into both feet. Right palm faces. Turn and turn over to the back. Bend the front knee. Left elbow to knee. Right hand over for side angle and side bend. So you're facing the back side of your mat. Then slowly come up, close it, step the foot in. Right hand stays high. Bend the elbow, draw it in. Left arm goes back. Maybe by now, listen to your body, you might be able to grip. It's going to make it easier. Fists make it harder. Your choice. Keep drawing the right elbow away from the right head and come forward. Slowly release the hands down. Walk the hands to the inside of the foot. Drop the elbows down and keep pushing through the back of the heart center and round the spine. If it's accessible for you, the hand comes behind the foot and the elbows come back and you're rounding. Energy is still extending through the back leg. Both elbows on the ground. Don't lengthen the pose to make it happen. Keep the pose short. Don't cheat yourself by extending the back leg to get the elbows on the ground. And slowly release. Drop the back knee. Vinyasa. Draw length into the spine. Plant the right hand, go back, fetch the left foot, draw it in to the buttocks. Close the shoulders down. Slowly release that. Raise the right hip, turn on the feet. Wide-legged forward fold, hands to ankles. Draw it down. Inhale, draw it up. Turn to the front. Step back. Move through a vinyasa of your choice or just hold downward dog. Take an up dog or cobra. possibly cobra if you're feeling in the lower spine. We all meet in downward dog. Look forward, left foot steps forward, warrior one. Other side now. Open the back foot for crescent lunge foot, and then step it forward for a floating tree. If you need to rest it, rest it. Then release it, float it if you did rest it. And then close the right leg over, squeeze over, really squeeze first, and then take the knee back and the foot back for Garudasana Eagle. Right elbow over left, and start to lower down, keeping a long spine. This isn't a pose for everybody. We've all got different body shapes. Go to where you can go. Then slowly release, left hand to left collarbone, right leg goes back, unsupported half moon. Feel that briefly. Then the left hand comes down towards the shin and it holds the shin. It's okay if you lose your balance, just come back into it. Then slowly with control, lower that foot down, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Press that hand into the shin, the left leg micro bend. Going length into the left side of the body. And slowly rise up, turn to the back, side angle, right elbow to right knee, left arm comes up, or your hand is down on the ground. Palm can be over and you're looking at it, up at it. Draw length down the left leg. Then slowly rise up, step your feet in, warrior one. Right elbow goes up. Setting up for Parsvatanasana. First, or interlace, yogi's choice. Slowly come forward. At the back of your mat. Stretch long through the side ribs. Then release. Bend the knee. Turn the back foot out. And either come down on your elbows but push through your heart center, or draw your hands back behind your heels and try and get the elbows onto the ground, rounding the spine. Pulling length into the right hamstring. And slowly coming up, turning the legs to the side of your mat and wide-legged forward fold. Just take a forward fold. Then bring both your hands under your heart center. Your left hand under the heart, the right hand opens up. And check in with that left hip. Have you consciously allowed it to come forward? What's happening there? Slowly let it down. Right hand on the floor, left hand up. Slowly release it. Turning to the front of your mat. Move through a vinyasa of your choice, and we're all meeting seated at the front of our mats. So when you find your downward dog, have a breath or two in downward dog. Then look, walk, step or float all the way to your mat, onto your mat. Your legs go wide. You might need a block, a towel, sometimes just under the sitting bones. Just raising the hips a little bit higher sometimes helps. And start to come forward. You might be lucky and have a bar in front of you like me. Really cheat and help pull yourself forward, but keep a long spine. If you are one of those flexies and you are getting all the way down, check in. Are the hips rotating out? Can you get the same depth with that rotation in? What's happening with the nervous system if you're flexing the feet or pointing the feet? Changes the stretch in the nerves. And slowly come up. And then use your hands if you need to. Draw your feet towards one another for Baddha Konasana. And first, take your hands behind you. Lift up and arch back then. Then keep that length. Bring one hand forward. Then the other hand. Draw the elbows in. Draw a long spine. Don't just give in to the habit and go quickly to find the pose or what you think the pose should look like. Enjoy the journey, feeling each centimeter, each millimeter, and then eventually you can give in and round. If you're wanting more, squeeze behind the backs of the knees. See what happens then. If you want more, push the ankles down to the floor and try and pull them apart. They don't move. And slowly rising up. Hands go behind you, legs go wide. Draw your left over your right. At this point you can use your hands and you can help again in your legs. Draw a long spine. Right arm goes up, bend it. You can help it over. The left arm goes back and fetches it. If you're binding, make the conscious choice of binding. Otherwise, make a fist and start to come forward. If this is too much for you, you can lie down on your back and do a figure four. So lying on your back, do this shape, figure four. You're going to get similar benefits. But otherwise, Garudasana, and you're coming forward. Slowly come up, release the hands, go slowly with the shoulders, feel that articulation. Hands come behind if needed. They're not needed, obviously they're not needed, but keep a long lower spine when you're up there. Then swap it. The left arm goes up, bend the elbow, right hand helps it. Then just feel that articulation in the shoulder. Draw it up. And slowly come forward. Slowly come up, release the arms, release the legs, and start to roll down onto your mat. And take your time. And use your fingers as brakes. Really round into the lower spine. So, when I say round into the lower spine, I round into my middle spine. So try and round into the lower spine, not the middle spine. And start the movement lower down in your spine. And try and feel each vertebra as it comes down to the ground. You can hold below, under your knees, and your fingers can help you do this a little bit slower. Really take the time. Your feet can push down into the mat and grip. Really taking that time to get down. If you are feeling some tension in the lower spine, then just rock your knees, your feet are mat distance apart. Just release. Otherwise, we're all meeting up, drawing our knees into our chest. We actually are going to release the little spine by activating the front of the body. So raise the shoulders up, raise the head up, and really hug the knees in. And bring your hands below your knees and start to draw your knees away from your chest and your toes down towards the ground, so that eventually your toes touch on the ground. Your head and your shoulders will rise higher. And if you're feeling nothing there, then release the hands and hold. And you're going to hold there. When you need to hold below your knees, you'll hold below your knees, and you'll come out and you'll come back in and join us when you're ready. If that's okay and you're not really feeling anything, then draw your hands to your heart meridian, and then draw them over to the left side of the body. The toes can be pulling towards the sitting bones and back to center. And draw the hands over to the right side. Check in with your breath. Slowly back to center. Hold if you need to. Raise a little bit higher. And hug the knees in. Lower down. If you're not familiar with shoulder stand, then just raise your feet into the air. Otherwise, you're going to move into a shoulder stand. So draw your knees in, push down into your hands and arms. Please don't look at me while you do this. Raise the buttocks high until your hands can get under the buttocks and help you up. And then when your hands are under, fingers pointing up, you'll raise your legs up into the air. For those that are you're getting the same benefits with your feet raised in the air, just keep your feet raised in the air. Your legs start to shake too much, bend the knees slightly, and let's just drain some of the blood from our body. And if you're in shoulder stand, hopefully you're still being still and haven't found the need to start moving and changing positions. And slowly, if you are in shoulder stand, you'll start to drop your right leg down, extend through your left leg up into the sky, and then you'll slowly swap. Listen to your body. You come out of these poses whenever you need to. You've still got your feet in the air. You'll start to slowly lower down to Shavasana for those who aren't in shoulder stand. Those who are in shoulder stand, we're just finishing off with both them feet coming down. Hand positions totally up to you. Your hands can be forward, holding your toes. They can be behind, interlaced. Others are starting to settle down in Shavasana. And then slowly, when you're ready, you're going to roll out of it, vertebra by vertebra, keeping your thighs as close to your chest as possible, rolling out, vertebra by vertebra, all the way till your feet are down. When your feet do get down, you're going to open your legs, drop the toes out, heels in towards one another. Shoulders roll open, back of the palms onto the floor. Shavasana. You have as much time as you need in your Shavasana. Please, I encourage you to take your time in your Shavasana. Spend a few moments. Don't be in a rush to move and get on with life. And when you do finally move, roll over to one side in your fetal position. Stay there for a little bit and then move on. Thank you for joining me in this practice today. Be safe, be well. Namaste.